Hey guys, this is Comic Uno, and today I'm doing a review for Arrow, and this is the episode Seeing Red. A lot happened in this episode. Of course, there's going to be a lot of spoilers in this review. I was really looking forward to this episode because I'm a big Thea fan. I want to see more with her, and a big Roy fan, and that's really what this episode is, and it turns on its head by the end of the episode. Things that I kind of expected to happen, but not so soon does happen. I did guess a lot of it, but then there's stuff that comes out of left field, but in a good way. So let's talk about it. So Roy, he's going crazy, hits everybody he knows, literally, gives Sin a black eye, and Thea sees this, and also Sarah sees this. So Sarah wants to kill Roy, doesn't end up killing Roy. They heal Roy in the end of the episode, but it's also about the whole family dynamic in this episode. It's not just Roy, but it's Moira running for mayor. Will she quit? Will she not? Is she more of a caring mother than, you know, caring for the city? So she has to make the decision if she's going to quit or not. She doesn't end up quitting, but she wants to tell the truth to Oliver. And we find out that Moira actually knew that Oliver was the Hood, which I was actually shocked by because you really wouldn't have noticed it, but she's a very secretive person, so you kind of could tell. It makes sense, but I didn't expect it. So now she knows the truth, Oliver knows the truth, and Thea's like, you know what, I don't know how you knew about Roy, but you gotta tell me the truth. You think you're protecting me, but you're not. So Moira's about to tell that Malcolm's alive, and someone crashes into the car, it's Slade. And best thing happens, I kind of guessed this, but we get to see the shadow scenario. Oliver has to pick between Moira and Thea. And Moira ends up saying, hey, kill me. And Deathstroke's, you know what, because you're noble, I won't kill you. BAM! And then does a little sword and kills Moira. Moira does sacrifice herself. Honestly, I called it. I didn't call in that way, but I did call she was going to die in this episode. I was watching it. And now Thea has a lot of questions, I'm sure. But the next episode is going to be the funeral. It's going to be the whole, these next 3 episodes is going to be one night. It's going to take in the time frame of one night. So it's going to be these 3 final episodes, like a 3-hour movie. Well, yeah, 3-hour movie for the season finale. You know, if the last 15 minutes of this episode didn't happen, I would be like, it was an okay episode. Because, let me just go through my gripes first, because there are not many, but if these last 15 minutes didn't happen, it would have been a big gripe. First gripe is that I love Thea. You guys know that, because I'm a big Mia Dearden fan. She's based on Mia Dearden, and, I think Willow Holland does just a great job with the character. With this episode, I think Willow Holland did a good job with the character, but I felt like it was going around in circles. They could have done a lot more with the whole Roy thing, and it just felt kind of whiny in this episode, which is hard to say about Thea, but she did seem a little whiny. Again, still understandable, but, you know, a little whiny in this episode. But I think that definitely takes a turn by the end of the episode, because you understand where Thea's coming from. She's been lied to all her life, but then again, it's like she's a little bratty in this episode, and it's hard to see that. It's hard to see light in this episode with her, which is sad to see. But, you know, Roy did a pretty good job. I think he was a good villain in this episode. He didn't have much to say, but it's interesting to see him get totally taken over by the Mirakuru and have Thea become his ghost. So it seems like he's going to be healed, hopefully be in the final battle. Also want to mention about Sarah in this episode, which is not a gripe, but it was just okay. She's leaving again. I think it's just to go see Nyssa now, maybe just, you know, hash up those problems, which is interesting because I really like Nyssa's character. Maybe that's going to be a building stone for Season 3, which my guess is going to be League of Assassins. So I think that's going to be very interesting. But I didn't really love Sarah's breakup. It's like, yeah, I just can't be with you because, like, I'm all dark and you're not. I thought that was a little bit of a cop-out from Sarah, but you understand why they're doing it because, you know, you knew that relationship wasn't going to work. I hope she doesn't, you know, leave Starling City and just, like that whole middle of Season 2, which I thought was lacking in the middle of Season 2 because we didn't have Sarah, and I think she's been such a great addition, which I'm actually going to do a topic video this week for why Sarah's been a great addition to Season 2. But I think it's just a lead to go to Nyssa, which is more of a different story going to be pushed with the League of Assassins. That's my feeling, the reason Sarah did all this. So I thought that was interesting, but again, a little eh. Now, what I did have a gripe about towards the middle of the episode is like Moira. Moira knew that Oliver was the Hood. And I was like, really? She has to be the one who finds out? And I was like, she's gonna die. She has to. Like, I just feel she's a character that would probably have more of saying, hey, I know, and then she dies. Because the family's so screwed up. And I think with her death, it's going to even be more screwed up. So I like the way she went out. I really like that she's like, especially with the flashbacks, which I'll talk about. You know, the contrasting with the flashbacks, see how much of a horrible person she is. She tries to do the right thing, but ends up always doing the wrong thing. You know, lying to Thea. She was going to tell the truth about Malcolm, which I think in the next couple episodes we'll see Thea finds out about anyways, that he's alive, and Oliver, I don't even think knows Malcolm's alive either. So I think that will be interesting, but it's interesting again with the contrast of the flashbacks, because the flashback is Oliver has a kid, and Maura says, oh yeah, just tells the girl, we don't know the girl's name, I have a feeling her last name's Hawk, which I'll get to, but she says, oh, just tell Oliver he had a miscarriage, and she doesn't, so Oliver does have a son out there. Connor Hawke, it's in the comics. So, yeah, Connor Hawke already in the show, which is going to be interesting because Connor Hawke has been older in the comic books. He was a monk, so it's going to be interesting to see this younger Connor Hawke if Oliver even finds out about him. But I thought that was a cool planted seed. Didn't really expect it in Season 2. I don't know if it was needed, but it was a cool contrast with Maura and maybe just planting that seed for a future season. I don't really want to see it being tackled in Season 2. I think there's way too much going on right now, but it's a cool seed to be planted, like with the Malcolm, when Malcolm revealed that Thea was his daughter. That was a planted seed, but now it's being hashed out by the end of the season. So I think that's what's going to happen with the Oliver and Connor Hawke. So I think that'll be very interesting. And maybe in the Flash series, because we're seeing that the girl moved to Central City, so maybe it'll be connected to Flash. So that will be very interesting to see who this girl is. And if it's not Hawke, will his name still be Connor Hawke somehow? I don't know, but or at least Connor. That'll be pretty interesting. So really like that. And the contrast, because again, Maura's a very complicated person, or a complicated character, because she really cares for her family. She wants to tell the truth, and that's why she didn't tell Oliver. She knew about him being the Hood, and there's so much contrast in this episode for that, and I really like how complicated she is, and I think she went out in that way too. She's a complicated character, she went out that way. I don't think there were loose ends that were tied in a good way, because I always thought that's what her character was about. She never had loose ends that were tied, so I really do like that about her, and I thought it was a really good send-off, and probably the most smart death for the show, because I've been saying, I guessed this, like I said, Maura's gonna die. I know she was going to die this season, and after that reveal, I'm like, well, she's going to die, because if she knows that he's Arrow, it's not really going to do much. She can't join the Arrow team. It's kind of like why Quentin doesn't know. I feel like Quentin's just hiding it because it's the Commissioner Gordon thing, but also, what is Quentin going to do? He can't join Team Arrow either. So with Maura's death, I just feel like her knowing just had more power, and that's why I'm like, yeah, she's going to die tonight. I love the way they did it with Slade, and I think it's going to be really interesting with Thea, going back to her. I think it will be very interesting to see how she reacts to this. I really think Oliver will have to tell her by the end of this, because she's going to have too many questions, and you really can't hide, and I think Thea really is telling the truth. It's like, in a story point of way too, you're not doing anything by not telling me, and that's the truth. I think Thea was the whiny character in this episode because she doesn't know. She is this ignorant character because she doesn't really know anything else going on. She just found out about Roy. So I think by, honestly, next episode she's going to find out. I know a lot of people are knowing on the show, but I personally think that's a better thing, because Oliver Queen is not Superman. Oliver Queen is a character in the comics that by the end, everyone knows that he's Green Arrow. So he's not a character that really keeps a secret identity. So by having those reveals in this episode, or this season, it makes sense, especially the people close to him, because we need this Arrow team to be formed. It might take seasons to really develop them, especially Thea. I think Thea going into the speedy persona, hopefully by season 3, we need to push her, just like they pushed Laurel in this season. And with Thea seeing her mother's death, knowing all these things about Oliver, having this dark past, she's going to become a stronger character, and I think she needed this episode, and I think the last 15 minutes really redeemed the episode for me. I can't give it a perfect 5 stars, even though I was on the edge of my seat throughout the episode, because I did have those small gripes with Thea, a little bit with Roy and Sarah, but I think in the end it made so much up for it. It was one of the best endings of the show, so some of the best commercial cliffhangers, for this season, especially those last 7 minutes. I'm like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? I think these next 3 episodes are just gonna blow our minds. I thought they did a great job with it. Again, it had many small gripes, but it was just a really well done episode. I think the more death made sense. I think this will progress Thea's character, progress Oliver's character, and progress the Queen family in general. I'm really looking forward to seeing where the Arrow team falls by the end of the season, because I think it's going to look very different. And also we have Brother Blood probably becoming mayor in the end. So there's just so much that's going to happen in these next 3 episodes. I'm just so excited. It's just such a great episode. Please tell me in the comments below what your speculations are. Did you know Moro was going to die? Do you think it was a good idea? What do you think is going to happen to Thea now? Did you like Roy as the villain, even though he didn't really say much here? What do you think is going to happen to Sarah? Do you think Felicity had some funny lines? Because I think she did. I think, you know, Sarah and Oliver just breaking up with each other just give more of a chance of Olicity, so I'm really excited for that. Did you miss Laurel in this episode? I have a feeling she'll be more in the next episode anyways, so just tell me in the comments below what you thought. I thought it was a really great episode, so I'm going to give it 4.5. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys later. Bye.